Hello, everybody, and welcome to StarNet Link. And today's topic of discussion is going to be about Starseed Politics. Now, what am I going to say in this video might upset a lot of Starseeds, but I do want to open up a conversation or a dialogue with people who might have a different opinion about this or might be going through it themselves. So in Starseed Politics, there are universal laws that every spiritual being follows. And so I'm going to show you what that is. So the Starseed universal laws are known as the karmic laws, which is sort of a little bit similar to the understanding of Hinduism, but this is a little bit more simpler and a more easier way to follow. But this is universal laws that a lot of different beings in the galaxy follow. The first karmic law is energy in and energy out. The second one is treat others as the way that you want to be treated. And the third karmic law is follow the laws of the land that you reside in. Those are the three primary laws that a lot of spiritual beings follow. Now, when we start to get more deeper into Starseed Politics, it gets a little bit more messier. So you have to understand the difference between an off-worlder and an ancient race. Ancient races are races that are similar to mythology or fantasy that we mostly write about in our books, including centaurs, fairies, elves, and stuff like that, like fantasy characters. Those are all ancient races that we talk about. Off-worlders are races that come from other planets and come here and visit us. So those are off-worlders. So you have to understand the difference between an off-worlder and an ancient world race, because sometimes a lot of people can get those mixed up. So with karmic laws, there is also a galactic council known as the Council of 12, which is known as the Consortium. This is what I have learned over the years. Throughout human history, there is a prime example of what I'm going to be talking about, which is the prime directive. What the prime directive is probably going to anger a lot of starseeds that have been trying to do first contact for many years. What the prime directive is that no advanced outside race that can come and influence Earth's government and social structure around the world, meaning that they cannot coherently intervene and basically start to change stuff within our government and social structure. This is technically from what the consortium calls a takeover. Due to this fact that if any race attempts to do that, they will be eliminated, meaning that they will be executed on site. That if they try to even do something with our human government, including trying to influence any of our government people or try to change something in our social structure, including religion or anything like that, it can be considered a takeover. And so this is the reason why this might anger a lot of people or anger a lot of starseeds, is because they cannot physically show themselves in a public setting, including over major cities, our state capital, and other important areas around the world, because it can cause mass panic. This is the reason why a lot of them don't show up in the daytime or only show up at night when it's a lot more calmer. A lot of times some ETs do show up, but it's usually because something has gone wrong. Um, a lot of people at night times, and ETs do know this, is that we love to have UFO watch parties, and we love watching them in the skies, and they know that. So it's and sort of like a mutual thing that they do. But the thing about the prime directive is that they cannot intervene into a lot of the issues that we have currently going on in the world. We as the human race has to figure that out on our own. They can give us clues or hints in how to deal with it, but it ultimately comes up to us as the human race and as the human race culture to come up and sort out different issues that we have created on our own and learn how to fix them and deal with them on our own. For people who might trying to wrap their heads around this, how would you feel if a visitor comes and tells you how to live your life or what to eat or what you can and cannot do as an society? And that's technically the reason why the prime directive has been put in place and has been around for many, many centuries. There has been instances where ET races have broke the prime directive, and the clear example of this, well, actually three clear examples of this would be in the Hindu culture, the Greek culture, and the Aztec culture. There has been significant evidence of these different ET races interfering with the social structure and government structure of our ancestors. And so this is the reason why a lot of them don't show up, is because of this law that has been put in place, and it has been enforced very strictly over the years. And this is because of us actually documenting them actually breaking the prime directive laws. The prime directive is not evil. It's been put in place in order to protect developing worlds around in the universe, and this has been around for many generations. The only time that an off-worlder race can interfere of a primitive world is when the world is at threat. This is meaning that, let's say Earth cannot defend themselves from an asteroid hurtling towards Earth. A off-worlder or an ancient race will interfere and direct the asteroid away from developing civilization, and this is normal. Another instances where they might intervene is when we hit the self-destruct button, including nuclear war. They will not allow a undeveloped race destroy themselves without proper measure in place to help them understand the social issues or the government issues that they're having. Instead of choosing violence to solve the issue, let's do it in another efficient way, which is through talks and negotiation. So these types of things do occur and do happen. It's all because they want to protect our civilization, but not only protect our civilization, but also protect other ancient world or ancient races that have been on this planet long before the human race has even been here. So it's not just us that's being affected, it's also the other ancient races that are being affected as well. The prime directive is a sort of a way, it's sort of like a common sense type of thing, but once you start getting into it a little bit more advanced into Starseed Politics, you'll start to understand the reason why they have those type of laws in place. Another thing that is in Starseed Politics is agreements and contracts. This is what I have learned about agreements and contracts. Agreements and contracts are usually done when a person usually comes to Earth, or they have a contract put in place once they're on Earth for their star mission or star purpose. This type of agreement is usually done when the person is coherent, meaning that they are not persuaded, coerced, or forced into a contract or an agreement. They are totally lucid. They are not, they have no sort of way to, I guess, any physical ailment or mental ailment that impacts them from making this type of agreement or contract. The other thing that this might also help a lot of starseeds understand that if you do not remember your contract, or they are not allowing you to read or understand your contract, then your contract is no longer a contract, is now in void, which means that you can create your new contract. Another thing that might help a lot of starseeds is that once you make a starseed or a contract with other, I guess, once you come here for your soul mission, if they allow you to read your contract, you can also change stuff within your contract as well, because certain things have changed over the years with human society as itself. And so you can change stuff that has changed over the years that has been included in your star mission or star purpose. Another thing that might also help a lot of starseeds is that if you do not remember the confines or the understanding of your contract, you're allowed to change it, or it's now in void will, you can create your new contract. Another thing that might also help a lot of starseeds is that if you created a contract under the age of 18 or the age of consent in your country or in your state, the contract is in void and no longer a agreement because you are underage. This can help a lot of starseeds get out of negative contract or star purposes if it's not working. But I hope that type of understanding of a star contract or star agreement can help a lot of people get out or create a new contract that can not only help them, but also help them with their soul mission and soul purpose. Usually a lot of people don't figure out their star mission or star purpose until they are at a state of consciousness where they are ready to understand the confines of their agreement or contract. So it might take a while for a person to actually understand their soul mission or soul contract, just because they don't feel that you are ready enough. This is a reason why spiritual work and spiritual development is very important in order to understand the agreement or contract agreement that you have made. So once you start getting into a little bit more understanding of starseed politics, it can get a lot more difficult, or a lot more a lot more difficult or a lot more complex dealing with certain types of agreements or contracts or soul missions that a person has been sent to come here. But I would love to hear other starseeds if they actually figured out their star agreement or star purpose, and see if they actually had a star mission or star purpose that have changed recently. So it'll be interesting to open up a dialogue about how starseed agreements or contracts can change or be developed through their star purpose, in a sense. So it'll be interesting to have that conversation with starseeds about their star mission or star contract that they have made. In the next video, the reason why I'm talking about starseed politics is because in the next video, I want to discuss about the darker side of Starseed, the community, which is the secret space program. The reason why I'm going to be talking about this in the next video is because it gets into more of the darker aspects about what's actually going on. And the information that I'm going to be based it off will not tell anybody's names, but based off the information of whistleblowers and people who have come forward about information about about the secret space program in general. And this type of Starseed politics starts to fit in with the stuff that we're dealing with the secret space program. And the reason why it's so difficult for a lot of starseeds that could be on their soul mission or be diverted away from their star mission. So I really hope that you enjoy this video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please leave them below, or you can email me at my business email. Thank you so much for listening. Please like or share my videos and let me know if you have any questions.